All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in sincerity and in truth. This is the brother Dequar from the DC camp, coming back at you with another lesson, and I'm going to entitle it A Prophet's Reward, based off, the scripture in Matthew 10, which I'm going to get to, because and the reason that I'm doing this lesson is because we have brothers in the camp whose mother, she provides us hot cocoa and hot tea, every week when it's cold outside, okay? And it just got me thinking you got other helps and Yasharala, I'm highlighting the woman because the men, you're supposed to be out there on the front lines, all right? But we also know there's certain circumstances where certain men is just helps, okay? But scriptures say that they will receive a prophet's reward, all right? So we're going to get into that in this lesson. Salaki, I'm still a bit under the weather. This is Matthew 10 in verse 40. It says, he that receiveth you, receiveth me. And he that receiveth me, receiveth him that sent me. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. And he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water, only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. And right, so if you receive us, then you also receiving Yahweh Shai, then you are also receiving Yahweh who sent Yahweh Shai. And you receive us, you receiving Yahweh Shai who sent us, man. Okay? It says, let me go back. So it's someone who shows, respect, you hospitable. Okay? Not because you just related to him by the flesh, or that we just seem like good people. Okay? But it's because, or because of, our eloquent speaking, but it's because that we actual ministers of the gospel, man. Okay? Then you shall receive a prophet's reward. From the sometimes it's either the prophet himself, or also the reward that a prophet is going to receive, which is the kingdom. That you will receive that kingdom as well. Now, because I said that, let me jump up. Because you got to read the commission that was given to us. That was given to the disciples. This is Matthew 10 and verse 5. It said, these 12 Yahweh sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So right then and there, it's still talking about Israel. Okay? This gospel, this good news is only for Israel. It says, and as ye go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely ye give. So right then and there, that's some of the power that the disciples had. Okay? And Lord's will, eventually, us men today certain men today is going to be able to do those things. But right now, it's happening on a spiritual level. So if you receive it, you're going to get that gospel. You're going to get the words that's going to spiritually heal you. Okay? It says, provide, verse 9, provide neither gold nor silver nor brass in your purses, nor script for your journey, neither 2 coats, neither shoes, nor yet staves, for the workman is worthy of his meat. So he said, don't provide, don't bring gold, silver, brass, okay? Neither shoes, staves. Why? It says because the workman is worthy of his meat, which means that you're gonna be giving it to you by people that's seeking this gospel. You make it a fair trade, okay? Because the gospel is the true riches, the true treasure. All right, the meat that don't perish. So you worthy of your meat, you know. And the ones who sincere, they gonna take hold of that. It says verse 11. It says, and into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who is worthy, and there abide till ye go thence. And when ye come into a house, salute it. Right? So it says inquire who is worthy in the city, man. But when you go into a house, salute it. So that's a blessing right there from a prophet, you know. And the Lord is marking who who believes in the gospel and who doesn't, man. Who rejects it and who doesn't. You reject his men and what they're saying, then you rejected him. But if you accept it, then you accepted him. And notice he did all that just so it could be for the gospel's sake. He told them not to bring nothing but them in their words. It says verse 13, and if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it be not worthy, then let your peace return unto you. Right? That's that blessing first off, and then it's the actual gospel, man. The gospel of peace. Because we don't cast out pearls before swine. So if they worthy, then you give them the gospel, which is able to save their soul. As James 1:21 says. Okay? It says, verse 14, and whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. See? So who don't receive it, the scripture says it's going to be more tolerable in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah than for that city. And you know what happened to that city. So it's going to be even worse. And you see it emphasize the words. Whoever shall not receive you nor hear your words. You know? But someone that's worthy, they going bring you into their house, man. Okay? So we're going to get examples of that. The first one I'm going to get is in 2 Kings. This is 2 Kings 4. Salakia. This is 2 Kings 4 verse 8. It says, and it fell on a day that Elisha passed to Shunem, where was a great woman, and she constrained him to eat bread. And so it was that as oft as he passed by, he turned thither to eat bread. And you got to understand, it's all symbolic, because the cup of water, hey, it also represents the cup of water that you getting that physically, but guess what? You getting the same thing in return spiritually. And Yahweh said that if you drink of this water, you should never thirst again. And if you eat of this bread, the bread of everlasting life, man, the bread of life. All right, so they recognize that. Right, verse 9. And she said unto her husband, behold, now I perceive that this is an holy man of the Most High, which passeth us by continually. let us make a little chamber, I pray thee, on the wall, and let us set for him there a bed and a table and a stool and a candlestick, and it shall be when he cometh to us that he shall turn in thither. See? So that's why she was known as a great woman, because back then Israel was more hospitable, man. If you see someone on a journey, you would give them a place to stay. But she said she prepared all that stuff for him. She said she perceived that he was a man of the Most High, man. Okay? And that she just wanted him to turn into to them. It says, and it fell on the day that he came thither, and he turned into the chamber and lay there. And she said to Gehazi, his servant, call this Shunammite, and when he had called her, she stood before him. And he said unto him, say now unto her, behold, thou hast been careful for us with all this care. What is to be done for thee? Wouldst thou be spoken for to the king or to the captain of hosts? And she answered, I dwell among my own people. And he said, what then is to be done for her? And Gehazi answered, verily, she hath no child, and her husband is old. And he said, call her. And when he had called her, she stood in the door. And he said, about this season, according to the time of life, thou shalt embrace a son. And she said, nay, my lord, thou man of God, do not lie unto thine handmaid. And when a woman conceived and bare a son at that season that Elisha had said unto her, according to the time of life, and when the child was grown, it fell on a day that she went unto his father's to the reapers. So pretty much, she that was another a reward, you know. Elisha prayed and she conceived and had a son in her old age. But the thing is that her son died, you know. So let me jump down. Excuse me. This is 2 Kings 4 verse 32. And when Elisha was come into the house, behold, the child was dead and laid upon his bed. And he went in therefore and shut the door upon them twain and prayed unto Yahweh. And he went up and lay upon the child and put his mouth upon his mouth and his eyes upon his eyes and his hands upon his hands. And he stretched himself upon the child, and the flesh of the child waxed warm. Then he returned and walked into the house and to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. And he called Gehazi and said, call this Shunammite. So he called her, and when she was come in unto him, he said, take up thy son. Then she went in and fell at his feet and bowed herself to the ground and took up her son and went out. So right there, hey, he brought her son back to life, you know. And that's some of the things that can happen because this man was a prophet. Matter of fact, let me get this. Just Genesis 20. And this is when Abimelech tried to take Sarah from Abraham, you know, but he didn't know. This is Genesis 20 verse 6. It says, and the Most High said unto him in a dream, yeah, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thine heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. See, so that's the relationship that the Yahweh Shai that the Lord has with his prophets, man. And Yahweh Shai has with his disciples. Because they call us friends. Abraham was known as a friend to the Most High. The disciples was known as friends to Yahweh Shai. If you tell your friend you need something, they're going to give it to you. All right? That's why he said he'll pray for you. He said, restore this man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. So the prophet pray for you, you'll live. You know, this is the prayers of a righteous man. But if not, then you're going to die, and all that's yours. Okay? Because now you're messing with the Lord's friend. So you see how powerful it is. All right? So like it. This is Romans 16 and 1. Yeah. It says, Paul, a servant of Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, called to be a disciple of Salah, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of the Most High, which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures, concerning his son. Oh, shit. I'm not in the right one. Yeah. This is Romans 16, verse 1. It says, I commend you, Salah. I commend unto you Phoebe, our sister, which is a servant of the church of Centria, that ye receive her in the Lord as becometh saints, and that ye assist her in whatsoever business she have need of you. For she have been a succour of many, and of myself also. Which is, a succour means a help. Okay? So Phoebe, he told the church to receive her, man. You know? It says, greet Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Hamashiach Yahushai, who have for my life laid down their own necks, unto whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles. Right. So helps. They may not be prophets. They may not be preaching the gospel, but they are a part of the body. Okay? And like I said, the woman, they not commanded to teach, you know, but they can help the prophets. Okay? This is 2 Timothy 1 in verse 16. It says, the Lord give mercy unto the house of Onesiphorus, for he oft refreshed me and was not ashamed of my chains. So that's another thing. You're praying for mercy for this man. So he refreshed him and wasn't ashamed of his chains, man. You know, people wasn't ashamed of the gospel that we preached, but they helped us. But when he was in Rome, he sought me out very diligently and found me. The Lord grant unto him that he may find mercy of the Lord in that day. And in how many things he ministered unto me at Ephesus, thou knowest very well. So he said, what? The Lord grant that he may find mercy in that in the Lord in that day. Okay? And what? That day consists of that when everybody else should be crying, we're going to be laughing. When they're going to be hungry, we're going to be eating, man. You know? And that's a part of the prophet's reward. That the helpers will receive as well. Because they're going to have to make it through the tribulation. Okay? What else? 3 John. Salagi. 5. 3 John, first chapter, and verse 5. Beloved, thou doest faithfully whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to strangers, which have borne witness of thy charity before the church, whom if thou bring forward on their journey after a godly sort, thou shalt do well, because that for his name's sake they went forth taking nothing of the Gentiles. We therefore ought to receive such, that we might be fellow helpers to the truth. So you're supposed to receive such people. that you may be fellow helpers to the truth, man. You're supposed to receive us. Okay? All right, I got one more. This is Acts 16 in verse 14. It says, and a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of Thyatira, which worshipped the Most High, heard us, whose heart the Lord opened, that she attended unto the things which were spoken of Paul. And you got to remember, if you can hear this gospel, the Lord is the one opening your mind, opening your heart to understand it, to even be giving. And the ones that shut it off, he's shutting their minds to it, you know? This gospel is an indicator of who has that spirit of truth and who has the spirit of error. And just like every idle word shall be recorded, you know, and your actions shall be recorded, that you know, when they come up against us and we pray for them to be judged, the opposite is happening for the ones that says good things and that do good things by us. All right? It says, verse 15, and when she was baptized in her household, she besought us, saying, if ye have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come into my house and abide there. And she constrained us. See? So that goes into what we was just talking about in the Great Commission. And it came to pass as we went to prayer. Oh, this is the same one. Well, that was the point that I wanted in verse 15. Okay? Hey, that's pretty much the lesson that I wanted. But I just wanted to grab this. This is Hebrews 6 and verse 10. It says, for the Most High, Hebrews 6 verse 10, for the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed towards his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope until the end. So the Most High he's not unrighteous to forget what we do, and he's not going to forget who helped us along the way as well. All right, because we all have different roles and different jobs to do in this truth. But I just wanted to do that, you know, lesson, you know, to the ones that's helping. It's not going unnoticed. You know, you might not always get you may not always get praise for it, just like we don't always get praise for our work. All right, but in the end, that's what matters. The end goal, the end result. You gotta have the faith towards that. You know that the Lord is going to do what you have to. He's going to protect you in that day. You know, you gotta have faith towards that. So with that, Lord willing, it was edifying. Until the next lesson, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Until the next lesson, I want to say Shalom.